And you, sir?
I'm Brian. I work in the corporate communications team at Navy Federal here.
And the girls love him.
Let's start that over.
Let's start there. Let's do it. Hey, my name's Rob, and I work at Navy Federal Credit Union in the Certificate IRA and Trust branch.
I'm Brian. I work in the corporate communications team at Navy Federal, and we are here to talk to you about savings.
That's right.
Savings. You know, in my experience, if you can, max out your TSP. I mean, that's really what you want to do. You can contribute up to $18,000 in 2016, so you can continue that. But in the same respect, you also want to diversify. You know, if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, if one thing, you know, doesn't work out, you want to make sure that you have other accounts open too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got the TSP, which is a lot like the 401k in the private sector. But you also never want to forget about your IRA. People have to understand they can still contribute to their TSP and contribute to their IRA and do their best to meet the maximum limits. Because they're two different products, but they give you the benefit of keeping that interest tax-free, you know, depending on the situation. But they're both great tax vehicles for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, if you are in the military, you will have that military pension after 20 years too.
Yeah. You know, you got to ride out the storm. And I'll tell you one thing, when that 401k is down, talk about a great time to increase your contribution to your IRA or 401k to buy more shares. So I would tell this individual, say, you know, stay the course. If you have a question about the investments you're in, then you want to probably hit up one of our NFFG reps.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a drill sergeant actually who said, when the tide is out, don't make a big decision. So that perfectly applies here.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about emergencies, you want something that's really liquid. But then if you get an account, kind of like the SaveFirst account or an EasyStart, we have a special EasyStart, which has a great rate currently, around 3%. But it does have a direct deposit or allotment requirement on it.
Having those, defining those so that you're not penalized from taking that kind of money out if you do have it in a certificate or something.
Well, that's the thing, you know, if it's an emergency, your focus is the emergency. I mean, with like the two accounts I mentioned before, the SaveFirst, EasyStart, hey, if an emergency comes up, you may be possibly subject to a dividend penalty. But you know what, that principle is going to be there if you need it. And, you know, hey, let's hope you don't get an emergency.
Do you remember that? Do you remember when you were a teenager?
Yeah, I do. I mean, and it's funny when you listen to your parents or you listen to someone, they always talk about time on your side, time. And now I look back and I'm like, man, they weren't lying, because time really is a key. There's one key you don't have any control over.
And I remember my first job where I think it was like $5.50 per hour, which isn't a whole lot to save.
Back then that was big.
But even if you're taking, let's just say a couple dollars of, you know, even 20% of that small paycheck that you're getting as a teenager, it goes huge, you know, because you have compounding throughout.
Yeah, you have compounding interest. And I mean, you have so many products out there now. Man, you can just, you know, put in a little sum of money and just add to it every time you get yourself, you know, get some cash in your hand.
Yeah, and I know it's like, it's hard to resist going to the movies as a teenager, but if you're saving like $12, $13, you know, and watching something at home as opposed to going to the movie theater, I mean, that adds up quick.
You know, and this might, and I don't mean to make this sound so cliche, but, you know, take the trip to the branch. Take the trip to the branch and, you know, just have a conversation with someone and then see how it's done. Because, you know, that's for anybody. Just educate yourself. It's, you know, you'd be amazed at how much that'll add up and what you can get your hands on.
So first thing is congratulations on saving for your 401k. That's a big step toward retirement. The second thing is it really depends on what you and your spouse decide upon, what kind of lifestyle that you want to lead following retirement. Do you want to downsize your home and property, or do you want to expand, or do you want to travel? Have those things in mind, talk with your spouse, and figure out what kind of lifestyle you want to lead.
Yeah, and she talks about, you know, savings being enough. And the thing I go back to with the 401k mention is you want to try to max out that 401k, you know, as best you can every year. If you can't do the max, at least do the the company match. A lot of companies match you dollar for dollar up to a certain percentage. So definitely want to shoot for that.
You know, to get a specific dollar amount, you can always check out some calculators that we do have on NavyFederal.org.
That's a good calculator.
Yeah, it's great.
What questions would you like our experts to answer next time? Leave your comments below.
For more financial tips, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Or I'd be like, check out Retirement Center.
That's awesome. That'd be awesome if you did that. Check out Retirement Center.
So who are you?
Hey, I'm Rob, and I work in the Certificate IRA and Trust Department at Navy Federal. And I love money.
Mic drop.